Hey guys, it's Jay Kirkwood with Secure Financial Management. It's been a little while since our last economic update, so with everything that's going on, seems like a good time to do one. Obviously, I'm bringing this to you because of what's going in the markets, economically, tariffs, all that sort of stuff, and we'll get into it. But first, I want to start off with talking about volatility, okay? The last, I don't know what it is, 10 days, maybe 3 or 4 weeks even, the markets have been quite volatile, something that we're not used to. And if we go back and we look at something called the VIX, and the VIX is known as the Volatility Index, and it's a great representation of how, as the name says, right, how volatile things are, uncertainty that's going on in the economy, tariffs, stuff like this, right? And over about the last 2 years, the VIX, the Volatility Index, has been extremely low. Lower than normal, right? Usually we don't have such a calm kind of just uptrending market. So the first thing I want to bring up, and I talk to a lot of you about this when we have our reviews, is, hey, this is not a typical representation of how the market is. I'm concerned that you might be kind of getting this idea that the market just kind of trends up, 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 up. There's never any kind of bumps along the road or anything. That's not it, right? Typically, historically, if we look over the long run, the market is volatile. These sorts of things, they come up. They're usual. It doesn't mean we don't do anything. It doesn't mean we don't talk about it. It doesn't mean we don't investigate it, see should we make some changes. But it is part of the course of investing. Okay, first thing I wanted to talk about. This is the second thing, okay? In times like this, when things are uncomfortable, when they're volatile, usually the first thing that comes to mind, right, is, well, let's just get out of the markets and we'll get back in once everything's resolved. That never works. I can just tell you, it never works, because we don't know if this is the start of something bigger right now, and should we just get out and never invest again? Or is it a bump in the road? Probably it's a bump in the road. It sure doesn't seem like it's a 1929, a 1987, a 2001, a 2009. It doesn't seem like it's a cataclysmic event like that. It's certainly uncomfortable. So the idea of getting out and we'll get back in, when's the date that you get back in? You don't know when this is over for sure, right? So typically the path of, well, we'll get out, we'll get back in. Whenever I see portfolios where people have done that, typically they've been investing by themselves, right? And they'll come to us a little later and say, I need some help. And they've been in and out, in and out, in and out of the markets. And I kind of know what the answer to this is, but I'll say to them, what's the strategy really been here? And they're like, I don't know. I tried to time the market, it didn't work. Timing the market never works. Let me just share that with you, okay? The final thing I'll say to wrap up, I am going to get into the political side of it a little bit here, and I want to caveat it with that this is not an endorsement or a condemnation of anything that Trump is. It's just looking at kind of how does he approach things and typically what he does. He's got another 3.75 years or so before he's out. Probably it's going to be pretty volatile, right? I'm not saying that the wheels are coming off the whole thing and everything's going to fall apart, but I am saying that probably volatility will be higher over the next few years than it has been in the past. It just seems that it's a bit of kind of the nature of how he works, that he kind of like rattles the cage, gets people moving, and then starts negotiating, right? And that causes volatility, right? Is it the right way to deal with things? Is it the wrong way to deal with things? Not an opinion on that. Just an observation of what seems to happen, okay? So guys, if you have any questions, please give us a call at the office, 210-428-6250. We'd love to speak with you.